Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Bruno and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is a couple different things. The first thing is our basic obedience training, and that is the first thing that we're going to be demonstrating for you. Rich is going to start out by demonstrating the training equipment that we're using. We're using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed. And the only correction that we give is a tug and let go on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. We're going to offer you several different options when it comes to training collars, and we'll make some suggestions when we see you on Sunday. But for now, he's using a regular slip collar. Bruno is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Now, heeling is exceptionally important to you because of Bruno's problems on the street with foreign objects. So the command is Bruno heel, and at this point they're going to take off walking. Now at this point we don't have any distractions except a couple of tree branches or limbs and some leaves. And Bruno is walking very nicely at Rich's left, not forging ahead or lagging behind, but looking up at Rich. Staying right with Rich, matching pace with him, and when Rich stops his feet, he has Bruno sit and wait for his next command. So when you're in the city, you're stopping to cross traffic or talk to someone, he has been taught to sit nicely at your left to wait for his next command. And the next command that Rich is going to demonstrate is the sit stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. It is a one-word command. You can practice this indoors as well as outdoors, and I would strongly recommend that you practice it indoors because you're going to lengthen out the amount of time that he can comfortably hold it. This is developing self-control. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him. Bruno should remain seated until Rich gets back to his shoulders and gives him another command, and they take off heeling again. And now maybe you can see why it was so important that Bruno understand commands before we started introducing distractions. Because now he knows the meaning of these different words and what's expected of him. Stay. Rich leaves him in another sit stay. He has him hold that. I want you to lengthen this stay out to 3 minutes at home. Little by little, 5 seconds a day. This time, Rich is going to demonstrate the come on command. He uses his name. Bruno's been taught to come, and he should sit. If he doesn't sit, Rich gives him that little tug and gets him to sit and then to go right back to heeling. Frenchies are big dogs in a small body. I own 2 of them, and I own a male, so I know how hard-headed they can be. They are a bulldog. And Rich is going to demonstrate the come on command again. Now, he does a lot of this itching when you're working with him. Don't let that distract you from what you're doing. Rich is going to call him in. And they go off to heeling again. Now, I've never really seen a French Bulldog that was military in their obedience, but he certainly has come a very long way. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, you push it straight down toward the ground, you give the one-word command to down and stay. This is another great exercise to practice indoors. Bruno lacks self-control, as you already know, and focus. So these exercises, these stationary exercises, are important to developing his ability to just be still. Rich is going to heal him out of that. When he walked all the way around him, Bruno did not pop up. He knows to lay there and wait for his next command. You always have your dog seated before you put him into a down.
Stay.
That way he only has to lower the top half of his body. And Rich will call him out of this down. And we don't want to give him too much praise in the beginning, because it amps him up too much, and Bruno came naturally amped. That's the way God made him. So you don't want to give him too much praise in the very beginning for a good job, because then you lose his focus. He's looking up at Rich. He's trying hard.
Stay.
Rich leaves him in a stay and turns to face him.
Down.
Very nice. Good job. That's your down from a distance. So these are all of the formal obedience commands that I really encourage you. I know you guys are really busy, but this is a short video. Practice, practice, practice with him at home. If the baby's napping, put your video on and work with him, because this develops mutual respect and he understands that you mean business. And now we're going to video him with distractions, so we'll be right back.